Good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope that you're having a good day. I hope that you're feeling some high vibe energy right now. And if you're not, then I'm sending you support. I'm sending you a hug. I'm sending you love. Hang in there. I know that this is a tough time for people, a lot of people right now. And that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about. I had a dream that I'm going to tell you about, or at least I'm going to tell you part of it um, the other day. And I also was sitting quietly, did a meditation, came out of that, and just wanted to share some thoughts that came to me. It's nothing new, but it felt important to share because we need these reminders. So, I grew up around the water, grew up around in the South around hurricanes. And it feels like a couple of years ago, when the world started changing, right? And we became just immersed in this fear energy. It felt like a storm. And I thought about hurricanes, and I thought about how you have to hunker down and, take care of yourself, get your preparations when you know it's coming, except we didn't really know this was coming so much. But you get your preparations and then you hunker down, or you leave, you escape the storm. But this isn't a storm we can escape. The way the world is, the energy that we're in right now. This isn't a storm we can escape, but I think a lot of people try to hunker down like you do for a hurricane. You're like, okay, I'm in a strong house, I'm going to hunker down and it's going to pass. And I think that people were waiting for this to pass, and it has not. And it's really sapping the energy out of a lot of people and causing people depression and anxiety and stress. It's like, when is the world going to go back to the way it was? Well, it's not, right? And we have to realize that. So it doesn't feel like it's so much of a storm to me anymore. It feels more like a war, like we are fighting a war. And I've talked about this a little bit before. A war not like any other war we've had before. It's not a war where we can say, here's the enemy, and this group of people are bad. We're good. We're going to get together and physically go take over and fight and defeat the enemy. We aren't really in that kind of war. We're in a different war. For me, it's a war of light and dark energy. And we're supposed to be in this war right now because it is time. It's time for humanity to raise their vibration. It's time for changes in the world. I can remember coming in, and as early as I can remember, thinking, I don't belong here. This doesn't feel like a world that I belong in. It doesn't feel like a world it isn't that I didn't want to be here, but I felt like I could envision this kind of world, and it was so different than what we had. And that's the world I wanted to live in. That's where we're headed. And we're here for a reason. We came in because we wanted to be part of this. We're going to win this war. We've got this. We came in to do this. But in order to do it, we don't win this war by a physical battle. We win this war by staying out of the dark energy, by not allowing ourselves to be drawn back down into that fear and staying in that fear. Doesn't mean we won't feel it sometimes. Doesn't mean we won't be angry. It doesn't mean we won't be afraid. But do we stay there? It's a battle, but the battle really has to start with each of us, and it has to start inside of us. And we might be fighting that battle daily. We might be fighting it hourly. But you've got this. You can fight it. You can stay as often as possible. You can get back up to that higher vibration state. You can make decisions based on the higher vibration. You can take action. I'm not saying that we shouldn't take action, but it has to be action coming from a high vibe state, not from anger, not from fear, not saying I'm going to go out and I'm going to defeat these people. It's no, I'm going to defeat the thoughts. The lower energy is what we're going to defeat. And in order to stay in that, we have to take refuge periodically. We can't fight all the time. We also have to put food on the table. We have to go to our jobs. We have kids to take care of. We have loved ones that we want to spend time with. So we have to balance all of this with everything else that's going on in our lives. So it's more important now than ever to take refuge from the storm, to take refuge from this war that's happening. That refuge is by coming inside of ourselves, by going inside, tapping into our intuition, asking our higher power, our guides, whatever it is for you, to help us, to support us, to help us stay in that energy. And I guess this is probably a good time to tell you about a dream I had the other night. I woke up, well, I was in one of those states, I don't know if this happens to you, where you're dreaming, but you know you're dreaming, lucid dreaming, right? You're kind of aware. So I kind of came out of the dream, and I think I even woke up a little bit at that point, realizing I was afraid, like panicky, afraid of something specific that, I had been drugged down into that lower energy, apparently enough during the day that my unconscious was working on it at night. And I woke up and went, whoa, wait a minute. Why am I doing that? Why am I feeling this level of fear? And so I took some deep breaths, kind of drifted back off into sleep, asking one particular guide, to help me take away this fear. I was doing some deep breathing, drifted back off into that lucid dreaming state, thinking, okay, I've asked my guide, the fear is going to be gone. I was conscious enough to realize that I wasn't really afraid of that at an unconscious level, obviously, but not consciously. Started to feel better. And all of a sudden I felt the fear come back. And so I'm in this dream state, right? And I'm saying, I don't understand. What's going on? What's the message for me? What do I need to learn from this? And what I heard is, you're the alchemist. You have the power. Turn this fear, alchemize this fear. What I heard was turn it into gold. And so I started saying to myself, I am the alchemist. I have the power. I turn this fear into gold. Again, realize I'm in a dream state, right? So maybe you don't want to turn it into gold. But it had significance because I said that a few times and I could just feel the fear leaving. And I could feel it was this gold light, this gold energy just filling every cell of my body. And I could feel myself just radiating this light and tingling. And that was the point that I completely woke up, started to come out of that lucid dreaming and went, wow, this is important. There's significance to this. We are the alchemist. We can transform our fear into something lighter, brighter. Think about that gold energy, that higher vibe energy. All right, let me see. Is there anything else that I wanted to share with you? Oh, yes, there is. So that's how we win, right? We win by staying in that energy. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly was when we get together in groups and we do this, we get into a higher vibe state, we're connecting with other people, that energy exponentially increases and we can send this wave of high vibe energy. I do these meditations where we do this, right? Send this high vibe energy out into the world and see it just drifting over everybody else, helping maybe the folks that don't understand this, that don't know about it. They're just in this war, not knowing what to do, hunkered down, hoping it's going to pass. And everybody doesn't have to wake up and do this, but the more people that do, and the more people that get together and share this energy, I believe the faster we get through this, the faster we raise the vibration of the planet, the more we can start having changes in our physical world. Has to start within, but then it's going to radiate out and we're going to notice changes in the world. We're going to notice, I think right now, the people that are trying to keep us in that fear energy, that dark energy, we're noticing more of it because we're shining a light. And as we see more of it, we go, holy cow, like the world is falling apart. This is terrible. I have more things to be afraid of, more things to be angry about. And again, I've talked about this before. No, we're just seeing what was already there. And And I think that there's more control. The darkness is possibly like increasing some because more people are seeing it. And if that dark energy starts to lose control and we're not in fear, it's going to up the game, trying to pull us back down into that darker energy. And that's where we can go, no, I'm not doing that. I'm fighting this war. I'm winning this war. And I'm doing it internally, doing it. And so I'm taking refuge when I need to. I'm finding other people to connect to exponentially raise the vibration. And I'm doing it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. And when I just can't, I go rest. Take care of myself. Pull the covers over my head. Do the meditations. Whatever I need to do to just pull out of it for a little bit. Regain my strength so that I can come back rested, refreshed, full of energy, ready to have that high vibe energy. Sometimes we can do it and sometimes we can't, and that's okay. So I'm going to end this by telling you about something that I have done. If you're on Instagram, I'm going to pop a link in the comments to my Facebook page. It's Lori Ann Davis, Relationship Specialist on Facebook. You'll see my smiling face. I also have a private Facebook group called Finding Success in Life and Love. And I've done it a couple months now, once a month on a Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern time, starting a group through, I popped the link to Zoom. You can join, and I'm calling it a Healing Wednesday. We can come together, a little bit of a chat about whatever I feel like I should be sharing at that particular day, a few minutes of that, and then some time for people to actually step up if they want to and say, I'd like a little healing around this, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is. This is what's going on with me. And I will do, I do things like emotion code and some other things to help people move past those barriers. And so I can take maybe 10 minutes and work with 3 or 4 people individually. Everybody else that's there is going to get the benefit of that energy that we are putting out. And then after that, we will go into a meditation, a visualization that I feel like might be helpful for everybody. And together we will go into that higher vibration state, exponentially raising the healing and the energy for the people that have joined us, but we'll also send that out into the world. And so if you would like to join me for that, you can join me on Facebook. Send me a private note here on Instagram if you want the link to join, to be on the lookout for that on Facebook. And I create an event once a month. It'll be next Wednesday, actually. If today is Wednesday the 8th, so it will be next Wednesday when we do that. So if you would like to join us and just try it out, if you would like to just be in that energy of, we'll create pure love. We're going to create that higher vibration. We are going to win the war, but we don't win it by hunkering down, waiting for the storm to pass. We do it by proactively fighting the darker energy, by being in the light more. And that has to come from a heart space. I hope there was something in this that was beneficial for you today that maybe you needed to hear. Feel free to share it with anybody else that you think might benefit from it. And I'll be back on soon. Sending you much love, much light. Bye-bye.